Hey everyone, Jeri Bellini here. Welcome to episode 7 of Texture Tags on Tuesday. And you're probably wondering what's on the table. If you watch to the end of the video, I will explain to you what I have here. For now, let's get started with our texture tags. I was looking for a little inspiration for this week's tag, and so I decided to open up a couple of buckets that I have stored under my bed with UFOs. And if you're not familiar with that term, it's unfinished objects. So I opened the bin that I haven't been in there in a long time and saw a piece that was really interesting. I'm not going to show it to you now because I am going to show you what's in the bin. I think you'll get a kick out of it, and so will I. I didn't really look through the whole thing. I just looked through the top and saw this one piece. And what the piece is, it's layers of cloth, and I'm sure you've seen it before, this technique. Layers of cloth, and then you cut into the layers, and it creates a really interesting texture. So I have a little piece right here that I was playing around with, and these are all Mom's t-shirts. So because I've been working with t-shirts and I've been working with my mother's clothing, I got the idea this morning, why can't you just combine everything that she has? So she has some lightweight denim. She also has a few silk blouses. She has some cotton blouses that I hadn't really, they're not totally cotton, but that I hadn't really done anything with. And I said, this technique is perfect for this. So I'm going to make a big block when I'm finished with showing you these for her quilt. Okay, fast forward. What you're going to need is your tag, obviously, and if you're making a sample for it, you're going to, need to cut your cloth approximately the size that's going to fit on your tag. So this is always, I always work a little bit bigger and trim it back. So this is about, an inch bigger than the tag, I would say. And it is, let's see, I think it's 7 layers. So there's a piece of corduroy. I want to show you all the layers. And these are just rectangles. I cut these in rectangle shapes. So there's a piece of corduroy. This was her pajamas. So that's cotton. This is like a polyester cotton type shirt. So there's another piece. This is, the next one is a silk blouse. I think it's probably polyester. There was no tag inside. This is her t-shirt, the green, this gold color. I don't even know what that is, but that was a blouse. And then this is her t-shirt. Okay, so what you do with this is you want the predominant color to be on the top. My mom loved blue, so in this particular case, I'm going to have the blue be the predominant. Okay, let me set this aside. And I was thinking of putting this as the very first layer because this is corduroy, and I don't know, it might fray a lot. So I think I'm going to probably put that down there. Put all the pieces of cloth in the pile with the right sides facing up. Now this one is scraps. Okay, so I'm going to just flip it over so I can go at it the opposite way. So this is going to be my base fabric. So you need a piece of base cloth. So in this case, the denim is the base cloth. So that's my base cloth. I thought I would put the black, and I'm trying to put right sides up if I can see. And it's hard for me to see on the black. So there, I have that piece of black. Now here's a piece of her denim. It's just a little snippet. And again, you want to make sure that if there's any precious cloth, put it a little bit more towards the middle so it'll be sure to be part of the tag. This, I love this gold color. I should probably move this up, but I'm going to leave it right there. Here's the pink shirt I showed you in the other pile. Here's the scrap. So because these are scraps, it's going to give a totally different look. And let's see, how many layers do I have here? I'm not going to count the back layer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think 6 so far. I'll recount them. 7. And remember, the colors that you want to be predominant, put on the top. Okay. Now these pieces of cloth are really thin. And this time I want the yellow and the blue. My mom looked great with this gold color. Looked really pretty with her hair. She had blonde hair. So I'm going to have these two. All right, now I'm going to pin this. But if this was a big piece, like if you were doing, you know, a big block, when I go to do her a block for her quilt, I'll baste it. But because these are just small, I'm just going to pin them. Okay, like that. I'm going to take them to the sewing machine, and I'm going to stitch something, and then when I come back, I'll show it to you and explain to you what I just did. I started to tell you in the last clip that these are thin-ish pieces of cloth, so I could use more layers. If you're using thicker pieces of cloth, then, you know, maybe you want to use 5 layers. Okay, so I stitched the scrap one with rectangles. So that's going to create one look. And then this one, I wanted to play with curves. So I did a few curves here in the middle and then a few straight lines. And this is like a biggish space here that's open. So we'll see what happens. Okay, and then I'll just leave this one, is one I was playing with this morning. This one, I'll just show you, be easier to show you on the back. This one, I just did straight lines, and then I did a leaf shape in the middle, and then I did another, can't even see that, probably, straight line there. So straight lines, the leaf shape, then I cut into it. So now I'm going to cut into this, and I would suggest a seam ripper or a nice sharp pair. These are applique scissors, or these little embroidery scissors, or maybe even nippers. I don't know. I have them all here to experiment to see which one cut the best. I didn't care for the seam ripper because, well, first of all, this seam ripper is old and it's a cheap seam ripper, so maybe it's just not sharp enough. But this was my favorite one. Applique scissors, I love them. So they've got a smaller point here. And they're called applique scissors because when you trim off things when you're doing applique, this protects your cloth from getting totally annihilated when you're cutting. Does that make sense? Okay, so now I'm going to cut into this. And let's see. I didn't totally catch this. I wasn't real particular about the size because I'm just playing with the technique for now. But if I was going to do something, like say I wanted to make a purse or something, or a pillow, I would be more particular about the size and measure it out and whatnot. But I didn't bother to do that with this. So my last layer is this gray t-shirt. So I'm, you know, as I'm pulling this apart, and I'm not going to make you suffer and sit here while I cut this whole thing. I'll finish trimming it and then I'll come back. But okay, so I'll just trim it a little bit and tell you about our Zoom meetup that we had on Sunday. It was really nice. I really enjoyed meeting the people, and we had somebody from Australia, somebody from Scotland, somebody from, I believe, Holland, the Netherlands, and maybe there was somebody there from England. I can't remember that because we didn't all, I don't think everybody said where they were from. We were all yakking at the same time. But if you're interested in participating in Stitch Club, that was just the informational session, and I did record it. So if you're interested and you couldn't make the Zoom meeting, just send me an email, and I'll send you the recording. It's a private, unlisted recording. All right, I'm trying to get this all the way down. But I'd be happy to send it to you. I am going to close it, so everybody has to either join or ask their questions or whatever by February 24th, because that's next Monday. So after that, I'm going to just close it. So if you're interested, you have to make up your mind by then. And I hope you'll consider joining. I think it's really going to be amazing. So I'm trying to cut down to this gray. So I just keep pulling it apart. Now I see there's some denim there, so I want to cut that. So let's see, what else? Can I tell you something else? So the bucket that I was inspired by is under my bed. Bucket of stuff, and I'm going to make a video and show you. We're going to go through the bucket together just for fun, because I'm dying to go through the bucket. You know what I'm dying to do? I'm dying to clean out my sewing cabinet, and it's a big mess. It's in my bedroom as well, and I thought you'd enjoy seeing some of that, some of the stuff I have in there. And I've pared down a lot over the years, but I still have way too much. And what else did I want to tell you? Brian bought me, for our anniversary. So there's a black. Oh, I did cut through the black. Okay. Brian bought me. Can I ever finish a sentence? He bought me a desk for my anniversary / Valentine's Day. We got married on Valentine's Day. And I said to him one day, I don't know, about 2 weeks ago, I said, if you've seen my studio tour, this table that I'm sitting at is kind of in the middle of the room, but on my right, I said, I would really like something on my right, like a really thin, like a narrow table would be awesome. Anyway, he found a desk. It's so narrow, and it's 5 feet long. Okay, I got all the way around. It's so perfect, it's not even funny, because I thought I was only going to be able to get like a table, you know. This thing has 4 drawers. I can hardly believe it. It's awesome. So I'm going to do another little studio tour one of these days, because it does look totally different than when I first did my studio tour, I think. And I'll show you the desk. So what I put, because it's got all these drawers, I put all Mom's clothes in the drawers, because they're pretty wide drawers. So now they're just right there on my right, and I can rifle through the drawer, and I can work on her quilt and get some of these blocks done, because I'll be old and dead and it'll still not be done. All right, this is going to take me a while. You can see it's a labor of love, but look how fun it's looking already. I love the pink. All right, I'll come back. I'm going to finish cutting this. And then once you're finished cutting everything, cutting through all the layers, do that. And you'll see, you'll get so much more texture. I mean, you don't have to do that, but I couldn't wait to do this, because I thought, oh, that's cool. So depending on what kind of fabric you have in there, some of it will fray more than others. Some of it, you know, like the t-shirts don't fray a whole lot. You can see that, but the cotton and the poly's frayed. I love it. So I have to put one of these on my tag. I think the colors are pretty awful. I have to laugh. But they're Mom's t-shirts, and I really wasn't thinking about color placement when I did this. So when you try it, think about color placement and how it's going to look when you cut it open and you reveal the bottom layer. So the next one I do, I'm going to do it with the colors in mind. So now I'm just playing around with the piece, and I took some embroidery floss and just stitched it open. It almost looks like a door now, right? And then I sewed, this was a button off one of my mother's silk shirts. I just stuck it in there. And then I was going to start to stitch over some of these. And so I just did that one. And then I switched over to this piece. And I'm just not sure what to do here in the middle. You can't be afraid of ruining something. So, because that'll keep you from having so many different ideas. So what I did is I took my scissors and I just kind of went in and kind of roughed up the edges. And I'm debating here to do the same thing or to stitch it open. I don't want it to be totally open. So my mother had this pair of earrings. I used to have a bead store. Let me just push this out of the way. I had a bead shop, and she used to come in and make herself some earrings. And so I think I'm going to put the earrings in here. I'm going to take them, I think, off the earring thing and just put the earrings in there. I think that's what I'm going to do. I don't know. I haven't decided, but I am going to put her earrings in here. First I was going to put one, then I was going to put two. So you can see this is just a thing you just play. And I'm going to just do the choppy thing for this edge too. This is the back piece. And I'm going to stitch this piece down. Hope you can see what I'm doing. I'm just kind of chopping into it to make it look like it's been rotting somewhere. I know these colors don't make you think that it's rotting somewhere, but I was thinking of, it almost reminds me of burnt edges. I don't know why. So I'm just developing it into this really, I don't know, fun piece. Maybe you're thinking, what are you, crazy? But I just thought I would turn the camera on so you could see what I was doing. Now this one is the one that had all the little scraps. And, you know, these colors are probably not your cup of tea, but, you know, they're my mom's clothes. So, yeah, I like that. It just looks decayed, I guess, except for the fact that it's bright colors. So I'll just decide what I'm going to do with the center. So there's all the decay coming off. I don't know. This blue piece is bothering me, so chop into that. I used to feel really precious with my mom's shirts, clothing, but I see that's better, right? That big thing was just sticking there. But I just have to let my creativity flow. And I just do stuff, and it's fine. I have a lot of her clothes, so I can just make some mistakes. I don't know. Maybe I will stitch this. It needs a little something else. All right, I'm going to fool around with it, and then I'll come back. My table is an absolute mess. So I did do a lot of step-by-steps with this, but then I decided the video was getting too long and I was getting too wordy. So here's what I did. You saw how I did this. I did it in a couple different ways. I did curves, straight lines. I put a design in the middle. I put a design in the middle of this one. And then I actually took some embroidery floss and started stitching, and there's so much more that can be done with this. Yeah, I could go on for another hour. What I did really enjoy was not having sharp corners. I left corners down here. I like this choppy look. It just looks like old peeling paint to me, this one. And don't be afraid to have a play with this. Worst that can happen is you don't use it, you throw it away. But at least you're experimenting, you're growing your creativity by doing that. So this is my favorite one here in the middle. And these are all my mother's clothes. So I can use this on her quilt. And I really like that it's small. I was going to make a whole block, but I might at some point. But for now, I'm just going to use these. But I really wanted to show you this one because this one is really precious to me. And look, I missed kind of chopping here on the end. It folded over and got away from me. So that's all I did, is just chopped into it. So this one, when it opens, there's my mom's earrings are in there. And I wear a lot of her jewelry, but I never have worn this pair of earrings. And I had a bead store, and she used to come to the bead store. She worked for me. She filed beads, and I want to tell you, she was fast. But anyway, she would make, you know, herself a pair of earrings every once in a while. And so she made this pair. So I was going to cut this back, and I decided not to. So it's like a little fun surprise in there. It doesn't close all the way, but it closed well enough. I was happy enough with it. Now I can't get it closed, right? So anyway, you get the idea. So this was really fun. I hope you give it a try. And I'm going to glue this one to the card. This one really has a lot of meaning for me now. And this one I'm not in love with. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's the colors. You know, I don't like blue. So anyway, we'll just set those aside for now. But this one's going on the card. And then I'll write on the back, and I'll be right back. All right, here's week 7. And this is the one that I put on the tag. And it is layered t-shirt scraps. They belong to my mom. There's 5 layers in here, but I did up to 8 layers, I believe. Machine stitched. You can do straight lines, shapes, curves, cut back the layers. You can make doors. You could hide things. You can chop the edges to look like peeled paint, colored threads to stitch, and you can use embroidery floss and do some hand stitching on there as well. And maybe I'll just put a little hand stitching on this one. But I wrote it there, and I have these too. So I just wanted to show you how cute this would look on one of Mom's blocks. Now, this is a really small block, but I thought, yeah, it would look cute in the middle, and maybe put some stuff, you know, maybe embroider around the outside. I've been wanting to play with Jennifer Clouston's book and her embroidery, so maybe I'll do some embroidery around this. And then this one will go on a block as well, but I'm not quite finished with this one yet. I'm going to do something with the bottom. I'll either chop it like I did this, and maybe I'll do more stitching. This one has embroidery floss on it, and then that was a button for my mother's clothing. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this week's texture tag, and it is number 7, and I will see you again next Tuesday for another one. I'll probably be working with the t-shirt cloth for a while. It's helping me work on my mom's quilt. So just remember to keep moving, just play, no rules, and remember to find something to be grateful for each and every day. And if you wait for it, if you don't have a gratitude journal, you might want to make one. I have been really enjoying this and writing in it. If not every day, I'll catch up. but it's full of gratitude. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again soon. Bye for now. All right, thank you so much for staying to the end. I have been wanting to share a few of the new items that we've started carrying in our shop, and I want to do shop updates, and we've just been so busy making kits that I haven't had a chance. But I mentioned in the texture tag video, and that's why I tacked it on to the end, about Stitch Club. So we're giving that another week to stay open to see if anyone is interested. So February 24th, that opportunity will close. If you're interested and you want to watch the replay of the Zoom meeting that we had, send me an email at recycledpartsforart@gmail.com. My email is always in the bottom of the videos. You can find it there too. And just let me know that you want to see the recording, and I'll be happy to send it to you. This is actually the kit that Brian created for the t-shirt project. Now, you don't have to be a member of the Stitch Club if you want to work on this on your own and you don't want to deal with t-shirts and gathering them and washing them and cutting them. This is already done for you. And look how nice he packaged it. In between two pieces of cardboard to keep it flat. T-shirts have a tendency to curl, and if you just leave them laying around. And so we suggest that you keep them layered in between two pieces of cardboard to keep them nice and flat until you're ready to use them. There's 40 pieces in here, which would give you 20 pages if you're following along with the Geometry of Hand Sewing by Natalie Channon. She uses 2 layers of t-shirts cloth for that. So we have 20 pieces of the natural color, and we have 20 colors. And the colors are very subdued, organic looking, I think. They're really beautiful. And so depending on the techniques that you're doing, you might want to put one of the colors underneath or vice versa to get variation. So there's 40 of them, as I said. There's 12 skeins of embroidery floss in the kit, and they're somewhat randomly chosen. I went through the book and went through all the segments of the cards that are in the back, and the grid cards, and there's enough colors here that you can fool around with your samples and have different colors on different pages, and that's how I came up with 12. There's also 2 of my favorite needles, and those are the Bowen size 6 needles, so there's 2 of those. So you're all set here. I don't have any dual duty button and craft thread. I've been trying to find a distributor for that and haven't had any luck. But you can get it in Walmart, Michael's, Joann's, and it's like $2, something like that, if you're following along with Natalie's book. And I don't have the book laying here. So we've gotten in a few different needles, the Bowen needles. I really like them. I've been looking for needles for about a year now. I've been buying a lot of needles on Amazon and trying them out, and I haven't really been very happy with them. But I started watching Jennifer Clouston. She uses Bowen needles. She loves them, so I said that was one of the only needles I hadn't tried. So here they are. So we have size 6 in the shop, and that's what I use for the t-shirt thing. Size 3 is great for embroidery, and here is a chenille needle, and these are the needles that Jennifer uses all the time. This needle is great for ribbon embroidery or embroidering with like a thicker wool or something. They're really sharp needles. They're made really well. They feel good in your hand, and they glide through the cloth, so I love them. What you're seeing over here is something that recently came about, and that is we bought out a store that went out of business, and we don't have every single color, but we bought thousands of embroidery floss. JP Coats and Clarks and DMC. We bought both of them. And so what we're doing is I am curating colorways, and then Brian is packaging them up just like this. So they'll come in this envelope on this piece of card. It's not cardstock. It's a heavy just paper. And I named them. So Brian and I named them, actually. So this one's called Olive Oil, and I think it's beautiful. Beautiful colorways. And there's 10 in this package, and I can't tell you how much they cost because I don't remember. But you'll be seeing a lot of different colorways with this because, like I said, we have thousands of them now, and we're really excited about it. I love both of these companies. I am not overly fond of the ones that you can get, the no-name brands out of Walmart and Michael's. I have used those, but they're much thinner. I just don't like them. So I like the DMCs and I like the Coats and Clarks. And you'll never see anything in my store that I won't use myself. So there you have it. I just wanted to share that information with you. And thanks for watching. If if you stayed to the end, I appreciate it. And one of these days I am going to do a real shop update. So, all right. Thank you.